In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I made this altered book for my drawing class. So this project was an assignment where we had to do it throughout the entire semester. It's not an assignment that we were doing in class. We have to do it all by ourselves at home. And so the assignment was to buy a book, and I bought my book from a public library for $1. And then just get creative. Just use a bunch of different mediums, many as you can, and then just do whatever you want inside the book and alter it in some sorts and draw inside of it. I found this project really fun, so I decided to record it, and I thought it was pretty challenging too, and I'll get to that. But the first project that I started with was just one that kind of utilized the pages instead of a book and tried to use that creatively. I saw this when I looked up this assignment online. I saw this a lot where there was a lot of birds or there's a lot of bushes and nature and stuff throughout the book. So like that would mean like it moves from the front to the back and there'd be a foreground and a background, and they would cut out like I did with an X-Acto knife. And they would it would create more space than there normally would be if it was just two-dimensional. I thought that was kind of cool and creative to use the book and those pages in that way. And then I tried to push that further. So then the next project I did inside this book was a goldfish with a shark. But I decided that the shark that I drew was way too small. So I folded open 2 pages and had it be a flip book where the goldfish was on one side, and I used Posca pens for this one. And then I did a giant shark when you open it up. I liked that one. I thought that was pretty creative and kind of like a children's illustration book. I thought that was kind of cool. This next one, it was really simple. This one, there are some weeks where I had like really busy projects and couldn't get to the book, and some weeks that I had so much time that I could, go all out on the cover and make super detailed projects on the book. So yeah, there are some weeks where I just drew like a guy and he was in a very tall top hat. And then the other weeks I did, like I said, my cover. So the cover was a big task that I had to take on, and I decided to do a mechanical book cover. I wanted this thing to originally look like a box full of electronics. I didn't quite get what I wanted to achieve, I don't think, but I did get close. So what I did was I used some framing, and I used a hardcover book. I cut out the square that I wanted to make it look like a panel, but what I ended up doing was I looked through my school junkyard. We have like a junk pile in the back of our sculpture classroom, and I looked through there for a bunch of gears and wires and stuff and kind of forged what I could. Unfortunately, those end up falling off later on in the semester, so you won't see them on the final reveal because unfortunately they just kind of came off in my bag, and the hot glue didn't stick very well onto the page. But the paint kind of made it look believable. I think it was kind of an interesting book cover. I also made a latch for the book cover to close and to latch together, so I thought that was kind of cool. The black leather was just epoxied on, like hot glue or whatever, onto the hardcover book. And then I took on the best page that I think I've done. I did an astronaut. I don't know why, but I really love doing astronauts and electronics and stuff throughout a lot of my art, and I think that's a common theme. But then I did an astronaut, and it would be walking on the moon. I just sketched this from memory about what I thought an astronaut looked like. I did look up a few references of like the electronics and the helmets, but besides that, just kind of came out of my brain, just kind of getting creative, using this book as a source of like a sketchbook. The reason I thought it was more challenging is because the pages were already full of words and text, and so you kind of have to work around that. But I think that was good in some sense because sometimes it's intimidating when you sit down on your sketchbook and you try to make something really good, and you have this high expectation of making this white piece of paper, this white blank paper. It's kind of intimidating, and you want to make something or draw something really nice. And this book just allowed me to get rid of that expectation. It got me pretty creative. It got me to push my thoughts further. So I used that text to my advantage, and I didn't have a blank piece of paper working off of. I just worked on what I could. And I really like that. I also made that astronaut one where you could flip back and forth, where you can push the tab in and it would be an astronaut helmet, and then you pull it out and it's a skull. I really like that one. The next 2 were kind of rushed just because the semester was closing to the end, and we had to have 8 entries, or 10 in total, I believe, plus our cover, and so this was the final result of my book. It took a while, and this was out throughout a project that went throughout the entire semester, so of course it took very long. We were spacing them out at like every 2 weeks. We'd have to have 1 or 2 assignments done, or 1 or 2 page spreads done, which I enjoyed this project. I think it was fun. I don't think I would frame any of these projects, definitely not any of the ones that I've done in this book, but I really liked how they pushed me to keep going and get more creative with my sketches and stuff. Also, the words on the text next to the astronaut say, "Hello, so lovely to talk to you. Of course I could help, but try to live up to your potential. Don't disappoint." So kind of like a poetry thing. And then the bottom says, "Feeling relieved, life again." So it's kind of cool, the poetry astronaut thing. And then the other ones I did a mimic for a D&D, which would make it look like when you open the book the mimic was coming out. That one I didn't record just because it was a little rushed too. I did some doodling on a page and just kept going with that, and that was a spread towards the end of the semester. Yeah, so a lot of these were a little rushed just because the semester was coming to a close, but I thought I would share it on here because maybe this could help you or inspire you to do an altered book. I had a lot of fun with this project. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.